Hello, everybody. This is Aston Osai, Superintendent of St. Louis Park Public Schools, and you're listening to the Share the Mic podcast, the show that explores what connects our school community, who we are as individuals, and who we are as a collective. Through conversations with students, staff, and community members, we'll talk about what brings us joy, our hopes and dreams, and our connection to our strategic plan for racial equity transformation. Hi, Selma.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. And I just want to first start off by thanking you for being here with me today. And I'm excited to spend a little bit of time with you on the Share the Mic podcast and hopefully help our community get to know more about you and your brilliance, and also talk a little bit about our Superintendent Student Advisory, which I know that you're a part of. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But Selma, if you would be willing for the audience, those that are watching and listening, to just tell us a little bit about you, like your name, your grade, what school you go to.
My name's Salma. I'm in 5th grade, and I go to Aquila Elementary.
Excellent. And Selma, what do you like most about being a student at Aquila Elementary?
I love my teacher, my friends, and I really like every single subject. I like science because I like doing a lot of hands-on stuff.
Absolutely.
Also, before we did science, I did history. And instead of just like listening and writing stuff down, we did that, but we also did like some interacting stuff, which I liked a lot. We would basically scene it out and do like what happened.
Oh, wow.
In there. So I thought that was very fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That sounds really exciting. And I love history as well. And I like science. So that resonates with me, thinking about my experience as a elementary student and the things that brought me joy. I know that you're a 5th grader, which has got to be pretty exciting. I know before we started talking, you told me that you had been here in St. Louis Park since 1st grade, and that next year you're looking at going to the middle school here in St. Louis Park. What are you looking forward to about that transition to middle school?
I've already picked my classes and stuff, so I'm excited for that.
Yes.
And I think it's very cool how we go to different classes and not just in one.
Yeah.
So we get to see new teachers and different things. Also, we have electives, so something that we would think is very fun.
Yeah.
Also, we get to learn a language, which I think is very exciting.
Oh, yeah. Which language did you select?
I picked German.
German. Very nice. Well, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to check in with you next year and see how 6th grade is going. And, when we started, I shared that I invited you because of your participation in the Superintendent Student Advisory. So I don't remember the actual date. I know it was a few months ago. I had a chance to meet you for the first time. We were at the high school up in C350, and it was our first meeting. And so that was the first time that you and several other 5th graders from across the district had an opportunity to join the meeting. And I don't know if I told you this, but I was extremely impressed by you and how you engaged and just the level of confidence that you had being in a space with students, from 5th through 12th grade, right? I'm imagining maybe you knew a couple of people, but a lot of new people. And the way that you showed up and you engaged and you offered your perspective, I said, this is a person I need to learn more about, right? So that's why I wanted to invite you out today and just have a little conversation with you about your experience so far on the Superintendent Student Advisory. What are the things that you like about the experience, and what are your hopes for this experience as you continue to move through your time here in St. Louis Park Public Schools?
Well, your advisory, I thought that it was very fun that we got to go through the calendar, and I realized that there's Eid in there, and I'm Muslim and my whole family is, and my mom's actually from St. Louis Park, and that she never had a day off.
Wow.
So she thought that was very cool how we have one day off for Eid, and she thought it was she was just so surprised, and because I told her right after, and she thought it was amazing, and I thought that was amazing too.
And just for the audience, what Selma is talking about is that at our meeting, one of the things that we spent time on was looking at the upcoming school year calendar. So I think we were looking at the 23-24 school year calendar, and I think we even looked out towards 24-25, really trying to make sure that, students like yourself get an opportunity to provide feedback on the school year calendar, things we need to be thinking about, making sure that we're being inclusive of everyone's holidays and things that are important to them. So I appreciate, because I remember you being vocal about the need to make sure that our calendar is inclusive and being mindful of our beautifully diverse school community here. So thank you for that. I know we're going to be coming back together in a couple of months, and there'll be some opportunities for you to provide some additional feedback on topics that we'll discuss. But if there was one thing that you would want to share with those that are listening about the importance of, student voice. So if you think about your experience that day, what do you believe as a school district we should be doing to make sure your voice and other students' voices are heard and included in the decisions that we're making?
Well, I first got a letter and I was so surprised that I was picked. I was nervous on the bus ride, but I met a lot of cool people. And when I got there, I felt very comfortable to spread out my voice.
Yeah.
And I was with a good table. I forgot her name. She was a senior, but she was so amazing and so helpful. I was also with another fifth grader too, and he was so nice.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm thankful that you participated and will continue to participate. And I want to make sure that students like yourself and other students across the district, when there are things that they want to see happening in our school district, that they have a space to share those thoughts, and that we make sure that we listen and figure out ways to be supportive of what they want. So thank you for being a part of this. Now, one of the things that I heard you talk about as you were reflecting on your fifth grade experience, you talked about the things that, you really enjoyed about Aquila. You said your teachers, you said your friends, and you talked specifically about science and social studies or history. I know that for me, I've had a lot of amazing teachers in my life, and I know it was because of the impact that those people had on me that I'm where I'm at today and doing the things that I'm doing as an adult. Is there one teacher or staff member at Aquila that you would like to just shout out and thank them for the impact that they've had on your life so far?
All my teachers have been amazing. Some people say in this grade I had a really bad teacher. I'm glad because that's never happened to me. But I would like to put out there that my fifth grade teacher right now, Mrs. Mink, is really helpful. She's preparing us for middle school by doing projects and showing us different things. And she has experience. She went to middle school, but she also has a sixth grader and an eighth grader. So she tells us stories about what's happened in their day-to-day life, and she always gives us little projects to do, and she lets us socialize with our classmates. So I would say she's a really good teacher.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure Mrs. Mink is listening and probably smiling from ear to ear. So it's important that, we take time and acknowledge the people in our lives that are making a positive impact. So I really appreciate you doing that. So the last question that I have for you is it's kind of what we consider the mic drop portion of the podcast, and it's just an opportunity for you to share anything that you want people to know about that you haven't had a chance to share yet.
Well, I want to say thank you for inviting me so much.
Absolutely.
And I would like to say for the people that are going into middle school that I think that it's going to be very fun, and I hope you're not nervous, because I would say I was not nervous, but I was whoa, that's going to be a lot of classes.
Yeah.
But now that I think of it more, it's going to be really fun.
Oh, yeah, It's going to be a lot of fun. Selma, I guess I just want to make sure you are a brilliant human being. From the moment I had an opportunity to meet you, I got so excited about you and your future, and just the fact that the impact that not only you will have on our school community over the next several years through middle school and high school, but just the impact that you're going to have on the world. So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to our continued partnership. So have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Well, welcome, Shirley, to the Share the Mic podcast. I am extremely excited that you were willing to join me today. And I would first just like to start off by having you introduce yourself. So just letting the listeners and those of our community who's watching via YouTube, let them know who you are, your name, and what your grade is, and how your middle school experience is going so far.
Hello, my name is Shirley, grade 6.
And how's middle school going for you so far?
Okay, most of my teachers haven't caught on to the bathroom pass stunt yet.
Okay, I'm gonna have to learn a little bit more about this bathroom pass stunt before we end our time together. So, what elementary school did you go to, Shirley?
Park Spanish immersion.
Park Spanish Immersion. So, as you think about your experience at Park Spanish Immersion and now your first year at the middle school, what is your favorite part of being a middle school student so far?
Somehow I didn't have to take gym.
Okay, so your schedule. So somehow figuring out a way to not be in physical education. Now, I'm imagining before you leave middle school, physical education will be one of the courses you'll have to take. But at least for now, you figured out a way to avoid that. So tell me a little bit about this bathroom stunt. I heard you say that people haven't figured out the bathroom stunt. What is that?
I take bathroom passes. I say I'm going to the bathroom, but really I'm going to student services.
Okay, well, why? So student services must have some pretty awesome adults in there that
Yep.
care about you and help you. What happens when you're down in student services?
If the counselor is there, I talk to her. I also beg her for candy.
Okay, you said you beg for candy. All right, what's your favorite candy?
Anything except Almond Joy.
Okay, you just don't like almonds, or you don't like Almond Joy?
Almond Joy is just gross.
Okay, well, I'm not a big Almond Joy person either. I think I would say I'm more of like a Reese's type of person. I like peanut butter, so anything like Reese cups, anything like that brings me great joy. So, well, Shirley, I invited you because I think it was maybe sometime in October. I was at the middle school and I bumped into you, and maybe you were doing one of your bathroom pass stunts when I met you, but I met you kind of in the counseling student services area, and I learned that you had recently won the middle school spelling bee. And then I began to talk to you a little bit, and I thought that you were an absolutely brilliant and hilarious person. I think you had me laughing the entire time. I don't know if you remember this, but I literally laughed from the moment that I met you until you went and met with the counselor. I was just wondering if you would tell me a little bit about that spelling bee experience and what made you decide that that's something that you wanted to try out.
First of all, you met me in November, not October.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the correction.
Sorry, I just had to. I didn't actually want to do the spelling bee. I only did it because it was the only way I could get my mom to drive me around for an hour.
Okay. So tell me more about that. Your mom was driving you around for an hour while you were practicing, or what was the driving having to do with the spelling bee?
I just wanted to listen to the radio, and she wouldn't drive me around and listen to the radio with me unless I agreed to do the spelling bee.
Well, good thing that your mom drove you around, and good thing that you did the spelling bee because you won it, right? And is spelling something that that just has come natural to you, or is it something that you have to spend a lot of time practicing and learning words and figuring out how to spell them?
I have spent a lot of time with the dictionary in my lifetime.
Maybe you just have a photographic memory, looking at the dictionary, learning words, and clearly it's paying off. So I want to congratulate you on that huge accomplishment. And I want to encourage you to continue to, and I don't know if this means your mom just has to drive you around and listen to the radio, but to participate in all of the wonderful opportunities that are available to you during your middle school experience. As a sixth grader, to come in and win the spelling bee is just absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of the other great things that you are going to do during your time at the middle school. Now, I heard you talk a little bit about just really enjoying having an opportunity to go down to student services and speak to the counselor. And one of the things I like to do during the Share the Mic podcast is to take an opportunity for students or staff or community to acknowledge people that have had a positive impact on their life. And I would like to give you an opportunity, Shirley, if you are open to it, if there's somebody at the middle school that has really helped you or has had a positive impact on your life, I would love to create an opportunity for you to acknowledge them and just maybe share how they've impacted you.
The counselor, Miss Clute, definitely. She's just a great person, which is why I break out of class 4 times a day to see her.
You said you break out. I don't think you're breaking out, right? I think what I appreciate about the middle school And what I appreciate about Miss Clute is that they create space and opportunities to meet students' needs, all right? So if during the day you're feeling like Miss Clute is the person you need to go talk to for whatever the reason is, the fact that she's there and available to support you, I think is amazing. So I really appreciate you acknowledging her, because I would imagine that she sees a lot of students every day, and maybe I hope so, but maybe they don't always get a chance to tell her how much they appreciate her. So I'm sure she'll watch this and really be grateful for you mentioning her and the impact that she's having on your life. So thank you for that. Shirley, I appreciate the acknowledgement of Miss Clute, and I know that there's probably other people that have had a positive impact, but certainly she was the one that you wanted to highlight. One more thing, right? So I was mentioning that you make me laugh a lot, and I don't know if you're trying to do it on purpose. Do you find yourself to be a funny person, or are you just being yourself and that comes naturally to you?
I find myself to be a funny person.
I do as well, so I'm glad that we're on the same page there. Now, have you ever thought about like doing comedy shows, stand-up comedy or anything like that?
I'm not sure if I could do that, although I did have a therapy session a few weeks ago where I just spent the whole time making jokes.
And I'm sure you had whoever was with you just dying laughing, just because you have a gift. I think sometimes people like force their comedy, but I think it just comes so natural to you, because whenever I interact with you, my cheeks hurt when I'm done, because I literally smile the entire time. So one of the things that we do on this podcast is we have, like, towards the end of it, we have this thing called a mic drop. And it's essentially an opportunity for the guests to share anything that they wanted to talk about that they didn't get a chance to say based on the questions that I asked. Is there something that you would want to share that you haven't gotten a chance to share?
Back to the influential person kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that most kids probably don't exactly tell Miss Clute how they feel about her. Well, I tell her she's the favorite at least 5 times a day.
5 times a day. That's good. That's good. Thank you for doing that. I'm sure that means a lot to her to hear that from you. Well, Shirley, this time is no different than any other interaction I've had with you. I think you are absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful that you're here in St. Louis Park Public Schools at our middle school. Keep looking at that dictionary. And Mom, if you're listening, what's your mom's name?
Andrea,
if you're listening, thank you for driving her around to listen to music so that she was able to participate, because clearly her participation in that spelling bee resulted in a huge accomplishment for her and our school community. So thank you again for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. This has been Share the Mic. I'm Aston Osai, Superintendent of St. Louis Park Public Schools.